Well, as Elon had mentioned, cryptocurrency regulation is slowing down the passage of the Senate's $1 trillion infrastructure bill as debate continued throughout the weekend. Joining us now to discuss more is Perianne Boring, founder and president of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. Perianne, great to have you with us. What's your interpretation of where we stand right now in terms of what could ultimately end up in the legislation? Will it be the original language, or will there be a deal?
Well, at this point, it seems that the Senate has not been able to come up with any type of agreement to allow for votes on amendments. If that ends up being the case, which we should know a little bit later today, that certainly would be disappointing because we will be stuck with what is in the base text. There are a number of issues with the base text. The definition of a broker in terms of who will be required to comply with information reporting requirements is still quite broad. What's most concerning is if the miners, the node operators, those who are operating the technology could be looped into that expansive definition. We will still have some options going forward to get clarity. We're working with members of the Senate on other types of legislative history and what they can put forward for the record to provide that clarity. This still has to pass the House, so there may be opportunities there. And then, of course, the industry will have the opportunity to work with IRS directly on the regulations. So sure. Crypto is not going to be at an impasse at the end of this process if there's no amendments. There's still opportunities to finesse this to make sure clarity is provided.
So when Elon Musk tweets of, picking the winners and the losers, Perianne, who are the losers and to what degree are they losers? Is this a part of the industry that will be severely stymied from growth or put out of business?
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
Tweeting about was an amendment that's a competing amendment that Senator Warner, Portman, and Sinema offered on Friday night that competed with the Wyden, Toomey, and Lummis amendment. So there's multiple amendments that have been offered by multiple groups of senators to bring clarity to this. One of them, actually two of them, were not written in a way that's technology neutral and was largely criticized by the industry. Us at the Chamber of Digital Commerce have opposed that particular amendment. So because it was not written in a technology neutral way, that's what everybody means by it picks winners and losers, because it excludes some blockchains and not others. And that would be disastrous. It does seem like there are opportunities to move away from that. That's not really a proposal that seems to be likely at this point. What seems most likely is there will not be a vote on any amendments, again, which means we'll be back to the base text.
So the base text would mean what then, Perianne, in terms of, the vagueness around the definition of broker and who would be subject to reporting these transactions was at the heart of the criticism of the base text. So how do you think that clarifies itself if implemented? Is it a battle in the courts?
So we will have to fight for clarity in other ways, in the form of getting legislative history, in the form of getting a legislative record. Senator Portman gave a speech on the floor last night stating that it was not his intent to include miners or node operators or developers in the scope of this bill. So that's a good step forward. Again, the industry will have to continue to get that clarity in other ways if it's not in the form of an amendment.
Hey, Perianne, I don't know if you heard Melissa and I talking right before you came on, and we were just tossing around the idea of disclosure. Do you believe that Congress and Congress people should be disclosing their ownership of crypto?
I absolutely believe in disclosures. I also believe in term limits. One of the biggest issues we have had is that people do not understand what we're talking about. One of the biggest learning lessons, I think, for everybody is that Congress does need to step up their game in terms of understanding advanced technologies like blockchain, but also the blockchain industry needs to step up their game in education of politics and public policy. One of the things that we've talked about before, Andrew, is members of Congress accepting cryptocurrencies for their campaigns. Last year, the Chamber of Digital Commerce sponsored an initiative called Crypto for Congress, where we helped members of Congress and their campaigns understand how they can accept this. And we look at it from, it's a new payment mechanism. This is no different than, people can make donations to campaigns in the form of a check, in the form of a credit card, and now they can make contributions in the form of cryptocurrencies. And we do believe that the more members of Congress have the opportunity to be educated on how this technology works, they will be better prepared to debate on public policy issues impacting one of the most important technology ecosystems of our generation.
Perianne, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.